And we're live. It's Whiskey Watches and Wheels, and I am the phenomenal Yosemite Sam. I got the stash going on here with my boys tonight. We got 3 of the 4 horsemen. We're going to give y'all a quality episode. Fellas, introduce yourselves.
Casey.
And for those that's not watching the YouTube feed, I'm rocking a beautiful Ron Jeremy mustache. I don't know how long it's going to last because it keeps tickling my nose. I don't see how y'all do it.
That's what you're worried about, it tickling.
Well, yes, I guess so. Tickling something. How y'all doing? I feel like I haven't been here in like a month and a half. I mean, we have. I wasn't here last week, and the week before that we had phenomenal guests. But I don't know. I feel disconnected.
Well, let's get reconnected.
Let's get reconnected. So, how are you guys doing, Casey? We haven't had a chance to chit chat. You just rolled in hot right off the road.
Yeah, it's been a long day.
Rough drive.
Good. Not a rough drive, just a long drive, but. I think that's good. I got to work, got bills to pay. I'm going on vacation first thing in the morning tomorrow, so it's good.
I don't remember you saying that you were going on vacation. Where are you going?
I don't know if I ever did. We're going to Mexico.
Good for you, man.
Another vacation.
Kevin, these 2 income, no kid people, man, they get to go freaking all the time.
That's
Fuck.
Right. Well, listen, I haven't talked about it on here, but I know, Kevin, I've mentioned it to you, but like one of the things that I've always wanted to do was have some friends to go like on vacation with. And it's just happened to kind of roll together this year, or really over the last year or so, where we met up in Nashville. That was kind of the start. And then we did Savannah. And Kevin and I did with the girls the trip to Kentucky, and I got a buddy that was going for his anniversary down to Mexico, and so we are crossing over a little bit on his trip. He's got a couple more days. We're going to spend a couple days there, and then Ashley and I have a couple days to ourselves.
So you're like the buddy for everyone's anniversary.
Yeah,
freaking awesome.
Okay.
We don't have very many restrictions, on when or where we have to or can travel. Ashley takes off whenever she wants, and I more or less, especially during the summer, can take off time because surgery season's kind of slow. So I'm trying to take advantage of the opportunity and do it.
It's funny. This year, it looks like we're not going to have the opportunity to all be together, but yet, like you said, me and Stacy met up with you and Ashley in DC. Then Kevin met up with you. I can see Kevin anytime because we're, only a couple hours away from each other. So this whole year we've been able to kind of interact and be together without actually going on a trip together. Which would be cool.
And like I said, I've always wanted to have a group of buddies to do that with. And this group has ultimately been that group. And we've done a lot of different trips and things together over the last, whenever we met, at Veyron. And like I said, I'm just trying to take advantage of it while I got the time and the ability to do it. And I'm really excited.
Kevin and I were talking before you hopped on. I take the Keys kind of for granted. I hadn't been down there in like 30 years. Stacey and I was down there a couple weeks ago, and kind of like Mexico, and the fact that you go to the Keys and it really is another country. It's like literally the Caribbean. Mm-hmm. I like going on cruises. I don't like sea days because I get bored as fuck on sea days. I'm the kind of guy that if I'm on a 7-day cruise, I want to have like 7 stops. You go down there, it's just like being in the Bahamas, and it's literally a 4.5-hour drive for me. I can get to Key Largo just as quickly as I can get to like Savannah, Georgia. Yeah, so it's fast.
For us, we're road trip people too, and so we've taken over the decade that we've been here in Virginia, gone up and down the East Coast, and got done the Canadian tour and stuff. And 4.5 hours, you'd have a hard time keeping me away from that.
Yeah. I mean, we were the entire time we were down there. We're like, why don't we come down here more often? Even though we don't either one of us really drink that much or fish, but it was a great time. I mean, you're like in the Bahamas, dude. We went snorkeling, we went paddleboarding, we went, it was great. John Pennycamp, hiking on trails and seeing freaking wild geckos and what's the other thing? The big lizards, not geckos.
Iguanas,
yes, and iguanas everywhere. It was pretty wild. So good stuff. What do we want to talk about tonight? And we have our main topic. Do we have anything else we want to talk about before we get to our main topic? Anything new and interesting we need to check?
I don't think anything pressing other than one thing I heard was, well, that's not even that interesting, but something up at Tesla out in California about California's trying to put a 30-day stop sale on self-driving cars.
I did see that. Yes, I heard that today. Actually, driving home, I heard it on the news.
Why?
Well, they're trying to use that as a penalty for the Tesla shenanigans and whatnot, but I don't know. I didn't hear too many details, but I found that a little interesting in light of the government relationship with Tesla, on-off relationship with Tesla. So
Yeah. Kevin, have you driven the Tesla truck yet? Have you got your buddy's truck yet?
No, not yet.
No.
Actually,
Okay.
this week, maybe the week, if
Okay.
I contact him, because he normally comes in town on Fridays, but I'm normally in St. Augustine, so I have to stay in this week because I have a birthday party to go to. So yeah, maybe we'll see.
I'm legitimately and sincerely looking forward to seeing how you like it, because I've driven a Model S. That's the only one I've ever driven. I've never driven the Cybertruck or whatever. And there's a lot of technology in
And
the
when you drove
Cybertruck.
it, did you just drive it? Was it a friend's or did you drive it
It
for
was a
like a day?
friend's. It was just a friend's. It was only maybe for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But with the Cybertruck, because it has the different, I don't know the exact terminology to use, the articulating steering or the actually it's the adjustable ratio steering and everything, where you turn just a little bit versus a lot in a parking lot. It's gonna be interesting to see how that works. So I'm really looking forward to your review as far as how it feels.
I just want to be able to set it and forget it, as they say. Yeah, put where I'm going, and then I
want to see how that really works, because it's not a full autonomous. I mean, people think it is, but it's not fully autonomous.
He says his is.
I know.
So he says that
they market it like it is, but everything I say is it's still just camera driven. It's not geofenced. It's not truly
but he doesn't. He said he's not even touching the steering wheel.
Yeah.
Like you used to be able to have to touch the steering wheel all the time.
Yeah, because they sell the little things to kind of hang on it to make you think you're touching it.
He's like,
wow,
no, I don't even touch the steering wheel anymore.
I'm interested. I legitimately interested to see how that works out.
Yeah. And then before we start this topic, one other thing I thought was exciting. No one else will probably care about this, but my Cayenne hit 300,000. Oops, that's right before 300,000.
Look at that. That's the wrong photo.
But anyhow, it hit 300,000 miles. I'm now over 300. 300. I hit that as well. Yeah. So did some miles today, but exciting. Thing still runs great. No check engine lights, which I think is part of the fun, making sure it's running right. But yeah, that's exciting.
That's very impressive.
You think if you hit 1 million miles, they'll give you a new Cayenne like Toyota does?
I don't know. Maybe I'll try it. I don't know.
I would. I mean, that's really impressive.
Yeah.
People talk about high-end cars and their durability, but I think Porsche has proven themselves that if you maintain them properly, that they will stand the test of time.
Yeah. So the only repairs I've done, real repairs, all the suspension other than the shocks. The shocks are still the original shocks, but change out the control arms, all the rubber stuff, because that stuff obviously is a wear item, wears out. Mm-hmm. Fuel pumps, had those go out, replace those, and a crank angle sensor. That's those three items. The suspension was obviously expensive. Parts was $5,000 or so. The fuel pumps, a couple $100. The crank angle sensor is only like $100. So other than brakes and oil, that's all I've had to put into it. So.
Porsche makes phenomenal products. I was listening to Matt Farah's podcast today, and they were reviewing a 992.1 base Carrera that there's a company here in Florida called Flat Six Motorworks, not Innovations.
Motorsports.
Yep, and they've gone through and they basically put a $20,000 package on it, but it's running stock internals, stock bottom end, stock internals, but I guess on the 992s, they're all forged. So they put bigger turbos on it because all those cars are turbo now. Bigger turbos and some other, black magic voodoo, but it's a base Carrera pumping out 700 horsepower.
I don't mean to correct you, but it was a 911T.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. 911T then. All right. So
but still, it's the same base 3-liter engine. They upsized it to a 67 turbine.
Correct.
Turbo. I found that pretty fascinating. Of course, it's all Porsche everywhere else, meaning all stock components, the clutch, transmission, etc. Yeah. That's a pretty big deal. I mean, that's
700
really
horsepower out of so you're getting basically turbo S power out of something that is literally $100,000 less in price.
Yeah.
For $20,000, that's a bargain.
Was $20,000, yeah.
That's a bargain.
You can get a little bit less horsepower by using the turbo size turbos. That's a really stupid sentence, but you can just upgrade to the different size turbos, get 600 and some horsepower out of it in an all OEE product. Mm-hmm. That's pretty phenomenal.
Yep, exactly. Well, hopefully my garage at some point in time, me and Kevin were talking about it earlier, not realistically, unless I find a screaming deal, it won't be this year, but maybe next year. But as of tomorrow, the trikes are officially gone.
Oh,
I got paid 2 weeks ago for them, but they're finally coming to pick them up tomorrow.
Nice.
I was telling Kevin, I sold them to this company called Rumble On. It's an online. I mean, they have brick and mortars as well, but where they sell motorcycles. But it's basically the CarMax of the motorcycle world.
Interesting.
And I'd never heard of it either. I mean, I literally went on a Saturday. I went on my phone and I just typed it in. Who will buy motorcycles? Because I didn't want to do the Facebook Marketplace thing because it's a fucking cesspool and you get 10,000 phone calls. I mean, we tried to give away a couch for free one time on Facebook Marketplace, and the amount of phone calls I got was just absolutely ridiculous. I told Stacey, I'm going to stick this fucker out by the road. Forget it. So I didn't want to go that avenue. And because we were just selling them outright, not trading them in for something, I didn't want to go to regular, dealership. So I knew what the Kelley Blue Book on them was. I went online, went to this company. You put in a picture of the odometer or whatever, you put in basically year and mileage, and they come back. I got in 10 minutes, I got quotes of what they were willing to offer us. Both offers were within $1,000 of the Kelley Blue Book. So I went through and we have 3 days. 3 days later on Monday, I said, okay, we'll accept the offer. Then literally that afternoon, I got a phone call from their rep saying, hey, can you send me pictures of the front, back, left, right of the bike? And because it's a trike and has a reverse gear, can you put it in reverse and show it going in reverse under its own power? A little 5-second video. Sure. Send that to her on Monday afternoon. Tuesday morning, she texted me and says, hey, I'm sending you overnight a power of attorney for both bikes. Just sign that and send it back. Wednesday, by that afternoon, she goes, I got the power of attorney. And then literally by Wednesday evening, all the money had been wired into my account. Now, they had not seen the bikes, to this day, no one's even seen them. This was 2 weeks ago. And then finally, they're driving. She says, okay, someone will contact you within 15 days to pick them up. Got a text message on Monday from a guy named Ruben saying, hey, I'm going to be in your area on Thursday. Can I pick them up? Sure, no problem. And that's it. Done. Easiest transaction ever. Yeah, it was great. So kudos to Rumble On. They're not a sponsor, but I'll give you a plug because it was an easy deal. All right. So for tonight, I'll give Casey all the credit because this was Casey's idea last week, even though I wasn't here. But I do listen. See? Top 25 most memorable cars from the past 25 years. Haggerty did this article that when really, I didn't realize how detailed their article was until I printed it, and it was 87 pages. So I'm like, all right, well, good thing I'm at work and I'm using my work printer paper. So they outlined what they felt was the 25 most memorable cars over the past 25 years. They didn't do like one per year. They just did, hey, these 25 cars over the last 25 years is what we think are the most memorable. Some I agree with, some I vastly disagree with. So I figured it would be fun. Let's, same with you, Casey. I think you thought the same thing. Let's discuss them and see what we agree on and what we think shouldn't be there and what, if anything, we think should be added.
Sounds good to me. Let's go.
Yes. So the very first one, God bless them, man. Very first one, 1997 to 2004 C5 Chevy Corvette. So this is the only thing.
Did it give a reason?
It doesn't. Well, the article probably did give a reason on why they selected it because they said the thing was 87 pages long. The only thing I can think of is that when you go from the C4 Corvette to the C5, it was a pretty big leap, especially I think the C5 was the first year. I mean, they had a ZR1 in the C4, but the Z06 was the C5, I believe, was the very first year the very first generation they had a Z06. The Z06, I was actually looking at those before I bought the 911. The very first year in 97, you got 385 horsepower. Then it went to 405 the following year. But it was also the very first year they ever had a car that didn't feature a Targa. I mean, the Z06 had a fixed roof. It didn't have a Targa. So
is this is the C5 the first one with an LS in it?
Yes.
Wasn't the C4 like an LT?
LT, yeah.
So
yep.
I think that's probably why it makes the list is for the LS engine. That platform is obviously phenomenal and has been. What are they on LSX now, or 37 generations into it? Yeah. I also think the C5 made a huge jump in modernizing the way the car looked. The C4 still, I think, I'm born in the 80s, but I think the C4 still has a very 80s look to it, and you carried that all the way up to 96. C5 looks like a modern car. I personally still think the damn thing looks good today. I know the interiors suck.
Yeah.
But the outside appearance I think is good. C6 was awesome. C7 we know still is a phenomenal platform, and I think they probably put it up there. The LS engine probably is the leading proponent on why that was put up number one. I don't know.
I agree.
For me, that's probably not number one, but I can hear that argument. Probably understand why you can put that up as number one.
Yeah. I know that, to draw correlations with the 911 like we like, the C4 coming from the C3, the Stingray, all right? Very big fenders, very swoopy, all that kind of stuff. Then you went to the C4, and it was slab-sided. There were hardly any hunches at all. Very similar from the 993 going into the 996. And then they realized, okay, we need to go back the other way. And so when they came out with the C5, coming from the C4, they went back to, again, big fenders, big, archways, very much the way that Porsche went from the 996 to the 997. So I agree. I think they still look phenomenal, especially the Z06. And they are dirt cheap right now.
Yeah.
The interiors are a fucking rattle box. It is horrible. It's AC Delco at its finest. But I was seriously looking for one, and I'm glad I didn't get one because I would have never met you guys if I did.
Yeah, I think.
We're still talking about the Corvette. Don't we have 25 cars to go through?
We did, but we got
fine.
We got time.
Fuck it. It's a Corvette.
It's a Corvette.
But I think that for a track car, I think those things are still appealing.
Drift machine.
Cheap platform.
Number 2, 1998 to 2003, BMW E39 M5. Thoughts?
Dude.
Or James Snyder. Next
I
know. From my perspective, this is the time where I was really falling in love with cars. This would be, high school days for me. This age or this period for BMW is, I think, their prettiest cars. The M3 I'm more a fan of, which is, a couple cars down or, listed at number 4. But M5, phenomenal car. M3 I think was better, but I think it's dead sexy car, and that's, like I said, where I started to fall in love with these things.
So I agree with you. This was during the time that I was a manager at Home Depot, and my district manager had a 9 M5. And at the time, I thought it was a little too big, but the reality is the M5 of that generation is the size of the current M3.
Yeah.
So it really wasn't too big. I think it's a good spot, and you're right. It's actually a beautiful car, absolutely beautiful.
Kevin, you got a lot to say? Moving on.
He's not the BMW guy. Okay, number 3. I found this odd, but 1999 to 2005, 996 911 GT3.
Why did you find that odd?
Well, okay. Let me back that back. I guess I don't find it odd because this is the most memorable cars. Doesn't mean it has to be a good car. It just has to be memorable. All right.
I mean, it started the GT3. Like it started that class of vehicle.
Correct.
Which has transformed, in my opinion, the sports car world.
Yeah, it has. No, the reason I thought it was odd was because all the generations, it's touted as being the most unattractive or the most undesirable.
Yeah.
So
I think that car, as we're putting Kevin to sleep, not surprisingly, I think that car even today is fantastic looking. I think the engine, it really started to that's where people fell in love with the Mesger engine.
Yep.
It didn't go to $8,000, but it was what at that time, 7,500, 7,800, something like that.
They didn't make a lot of those cars neither.
Didn't make a lot of them.
So I would say back then that would be almost what we would consider a supercar. Like that was the Porsche to get, right? Like, and I think they only made like 1,200 or something like that.
I don't know the numbers, but I know it was low production. The sweet spot now, man, a 996 turbo right now. You can get them for $60,000 manual. Oh, that's a good time.
About 1,900 units.
Yeah.
Of the .1s.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think that is put a big statement, and I think it's a hell of a car even today.
I agree. So number 4 on the list, 1999 to 2006 BMW 3 Series, the E46 generation.
Yeah, we already said, I said my piece about that. I think it's dead
Yep.
sexy. I remember seeing one like lime green or something, and I think it's just a fucking good looking car.
Yep, I agree. 5 on the list. 99 to 2016 Dodge Viper ACR.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that was the Dodge Viper was a departure from everything for Dodge.
Well, back then that was too, that in 1992, 91, when that was coming out, it was that and the Acura NSX. Those
Mhm.
two cars were a class of their own. They were like, I mean, I remember the first one didn't even have a windshield wipers for the
No, the
for the
RT10
Vipers.
didn't have windows. It had zipper,
Right.
like a Jeep
So,
Wrangler. Yeah.
I think the ACR was just because it was so much ahead of its time as far as racing it and aerodynamics and stuff like that. I don't know about memorable of the time period, but we'll see what the list has to show. So maybe we'll come back and go, okay, now I can see based upon the other 25 cars that you go through.
The ACR is one of the first cars I remember, and I know there was others. It's just that I remember that had a massive wing. I mean, I'm talking a wang of all wangs. The thing was huge off the back of the car.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I was not that familiar at the time of what an ACR was, but just the Dodge Viper in general was, as you said, Matt, such a departure from anything else I was
Yep.
familiar with. It was an American supercar, which again didn't exist really, in my opinion. And the V10, totally different than Ferrari's doing the 12s. Porsche's got their flat six. Nobody was doing a V10, so that was different. It was loud. It had side pipes. I mean, the whole thing. And as you stated, Matt, the early ones were a parts bin car almost,
Yeah.
other than the engine. Like their switches are awful and janky. They had zip up windows. They had a toupe roof cover. It was. But now you look back and you're like, well, shit. At least the second gen version, the one that had like at least ABS, you're like, that's a hell of a car.
Yeah, and it was really the closest thing that we had to a modern Shelby 427 Cobra. They even had Shelby, help develop some of it. So, I mean, it was really the closest thing you had to a modern version of a Cobra.
Yeah, agreed.
All right, number 6 is something near to dear my heart. I love them. I want to own one someday. 2000 to 09 Honda S2000. Just great cars.
Kevin, do you ever drive one?
Well, you're a Honda boy, man. Oh, they're great cars. They're so
great
much fun.
car.
It was a cool car. I do remember the car. Also, everything about that car it's good, and I can't wait till they actually come out with a new one. And from the renderings, I hope they do come out with something cool like that. I do know Mike Geiser used to have his wife had one. I know Devin had one. So there's a lot of people that have. It was like the step up of the Miata, right? So
Yeah.
and yeah, I would agree. That would be a very memorable car.
Yep. Yeah, I've only driven one, and it would have been back in like 2002, 3, 4. No, it would have been a little later than that. But anyhow, from Miata guys, one of the Miata guys, he made partner in his accounting firm. This was the car he bought coming from a beautiful turbocharged Miata. He bought this. Super cool in the fact that it had the digital dash, right?
Yeah.
The thing about it was kind of weird, almost. This is a stupid comparison, so you'll make fun of me, but GT3 type of peaky, the early GT3 power band, very peaky, right? Like in the low RPM bands, it drove like a Honda Accord, like it was lethargic. You really had to ring it out.
VTEC kicked in, yo.
That's right. It's touted as having one of the best shifters of any car out there. The Miata has a great one. Yep. That Honda S2000 is also maybe better. I only had a quick drive in it, but a fantastic driver's car, and they're good looking.
They're great looking. I mean, convertible.
And it's Honda reliability.
Fun. Yep. Number 7 on the list, 1 to 06 Mini Cooper.
Kevin just needs to talk about this.
Yes.
I
would. I've had one. Got all
John
my
Cooper
employees. No, I didn't have. I had an R53.
Okay.
But I would say, now I've never driven a Miata, but I would say that the people that I've talked to that have had Porsches before, it's right up there as far as handling with Miata and Porsche. Great little car. I mean, you could turn up to traction control, do 360s in the thing, and they last. I mean, unfortunately, you do have to do like a front end service for everything in the car because it's so compacted. So you got to take the bumper off and stuff like that. Good car. They do have they share a lot of Chrysler or Dodge components, like the motor and stuff like that. But I mean, they're definitely 200,000, 300,000 miles plus car. The only downfall was that I saw, it's just so hot with the sunroof because they had a little shade, super hot. But yeah, I think it's a great, great car. And it did bring back the Mini Cooper. I mean, when that car first came out, it just brought back a lot of feel goods for a lot of people. And we didn't have the Mini Cooper here. So, even they made movies. So, they did the
Italian Job,
right, with that car. So definitely, I would agree that's a very memorable car. And they continue to still make that car. It's different versions now. I personally like the supercharged one. Like, I think that's a cool little car. I like it. Yeah. It's a fun car to drive. Even when I see them on the freeway, I do miss mine. So
yeah, I think they were super cool. Again, being in the Miata world at that time, this was obviously a direct competitor. The Cooper S, the supercharged versions, you could soup them up. They sounded cool. They look cool. They autocrossed is where I was most familiar with them, but they did a great job. They were small, tiny, compact, and kind of right in that same vein as Miata S2000, Mini Cooper. All those were like hot, fun, relatively cheap cars to be into in that early 2000 time range. A lot of fun.
And I like it because they took the design cues of the old one, with the small, absolutely, with the speedo and the switches.
Yep.
I think they hit a home run when they came to, a lot of times they bring your car back, but it doesn't even look like that. I mean, similar, but not as well as they did it with the Mini Cooper. So yeah, I would agree with this one. This is definitely a memorable car.
All right. And I agree with all that. I actually wanted one really badly. In 2007, I had a F-150 and gas went to like $6 a gallon.
Yeah.
And I had the Triton V8. And I said, I was traveling a lot. So I was driving to Jacksonville and back like 2 or 3 times a week. And one month I had like a $900 gas bill. And I said, I've got to get rid of this thing. But I was so upside down that I couldn't swing the Mini Cooper. That's what I wanted. So I ended up having to get rid of the truck and I got a Scion XD, which is a little similar thing, but Japanese, and just to get out of that damn gas payment. All right, this one I found odd, but it is what it is. 02-06 Toyota Camry LE.
I do not find this odd at all. If you're talking just memorable cars, the first 7 were all like sporty type cars.
Yep.
Obviously, this is the exact opposite of that. But everyone and their mother and grandmother had this car. I don't know how many of these I've been in my life, like 50,000 of them, and in like boring basic ass colors with cloth interiors that you never changed the oil on. You just drove them until they died, and they never fucking died. And I think you can still go out on the road today and probably see 6 of them on the way to the grocery store.
I agree. It's a Camry. I mean, they get the reputation for a reason.
That's right.
Everything Casey said is right. It's a Camry. Number 9 is something near and dear to my heart. 02-07 Subaru WRX. The most ralliest rally car ever.
That's probably why it's got to be the only reason why it's on there.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, the EJ platform that they put in those cars are other than a few, some head gasket issues when they get up in mileage. It's really a bulletproof motor. You can boost the fuck out of them, and they just keep going. It's a great car. All wheel drive. 4 seasons. You just do whatever you want to with the car. I was just sad when they got rid of the.
They do blow a lot of head gaskets, though.
They do blow. Yeah, especially when you get to around 80,000 miles, you might just go ahead and get everything retooled because you're going to blow a head gasket. But that being said, this was the generation when they still had the hatchback, the wagon. Mm-hmm. After that, I went sedan only, and I missed the fact that
what year is this?
Good. This was 02 to 07.
Okay.
Yep. So then I think in 08. So this would have been. This wasn't the Hawk Nation. I think that was before this. But anyway, they still had the wagon, especially in the STI version, in this period of time. And then after that is when they went into the next generation.
And I think this is what brought Subaru to the forefront. Really. It did. I mean, that car, and then it spun off, and then you had the Outback, and then you had all the other cars. And I really think it's because before the STI or before the WRX, what was Subaru?
They had the Outback. If you remember, they had the commercials. Who was the movie? Paul,
Yeah.
whatever,
Paul Hogan,
Hogan. Yeah, he did the commercials for the Outback, which would have been prior to this, but that was really the only car they had.
But you didn't see it like you do nowadays, especially if you go up to like New Hampshire, Massachusetts, Vermont.
All the hippies.
Maine.
Really, the only thing you saw, what I knew Subaru for this was the SVX. Do you remember the SVX?
Oh, I remember. That was the cool windows. Yes,
cool windows.
Cool.
So but that's the.
But you didn't see a lot of those neither.
You didn't know. I dated a girl in high school who her mom had one, and so that was the only reason I even knew Subaru was a brand.
Yeah.
But I remember the very first time I saw one of these WRXs in the rally blue color with the gold wheels at a dealership, and I'm like, that's fucking badass.
I mean, I wanted one in 01. I wanted I think it would have been the WRX, and instead they didn't have one. They were sold out, and I think that would have been maybe the first year or something. But instead, the guy called me and said, we don't have one of those, but we have this thing called an Acura Type R. Have you heard of it? And I was like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. I mean, naturally, I knew what it was.
Right.
But I bought it in Sarasota where there was a bunch of just elderly people, and they had it parked in between two NSX Targas, and I got it for, believe it or not, MSRP at $24,900.
Wow.
Right out the door.
That's amazing.
And because they couldn't sell it because it was an Acura and it was in Sarasota, and I drove that thing home, and I really wanted even though I came from a Honda Civic hatch, I wanted the STI or the WRX, whatever it was back then, and I got the Phoenix Yellow one. So yeah.
Listen, there's memes out there that, Miata is the answer for everything. But anytime you ride into one of these car shows and you're saying, hey, I got a family of 4, I'm looking for something really fun. I live in, snowy conditions or whatever. Every single one, always WRX.
Yep.
That's just the answer. You want something fun that can do all seasons, WRX.
Next car.
Next one, 4 to 09 Toyota Prius. I mean, I get it.
What are you talking about? You skipped 100%. One.
Yeah, I get it. No, I didn't.
Yeah, you skipped number 10, which would be the Ford Crown Vic.
I did. I'm sorry. Okay, well, 03 to 11 Ford Crown Vic. I get that as well.
Yeah, because it's every cop car ever that everybody fucking hates, and that's why it's on this list, because it's a piece of shit and it only pulls you over.
Wait, well, no, it's every cop car that then when it's done with being a cop car, it turns into a taxi cab. Then when it's done being the taxi cab, it's sold on the buy here, pay here lot to some dirtbag. It went from catching dope dealers to being a dope dealer's car.
Yep.
And then,
with straight pipes on it.
Right. And then after it gets about 450,000 miles on it, it's sold again and becomes a demolition derby car that Orlando Speed World down the street from my house.
I mean, I see a lot of those in my town.
Yeah.
In fact, my neighbor's boyfriend, who went from an old ratty Cadillac, he has one. Now, I will say, man, he's out there polishing it. It's probably one of the nicest Crown Vics I've seen. It's super clean. It's not the typical ones that I see in this neighborhood, but we do see a lot of those in the good old city of Zephyr Hills. So, yeah, I would agree.
What I would have put on this list, all right, it's same chassis, same car. It really is the same car.
The Marauder?
The Marauder, Mercury Marauder. Yeah, because, Chevy came out with the SS, the Monte Carlo SS. They wanted they wanted a competitor to it. They didn't want to use the Crown Vic name, so they made a souped up Crown Vic under the Mercury brand, called it Mercury Marauder, and it was a badass car.
I mean, that's just no different than Buick with the T-Type and the Grand National, right? Kind of the same thing.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, the Buick T-Type is more rare than the Grand National. They made a lot less of them.
So next car, we'll go back because no love hate for that. The Prius, this is the car that if you wanted to be known as, I'm doing something good for the earth, I'm going to drive a Prius. And there's movie stars from...
Gwyneth Paltrow, I think, made it famous.
That and Leonardo DiCaprio. Yes. Yeah. Both of them. And also the gas mileage. And also, wasn't the first hybrid one of the first hybrid cars?
It was. Yeah. It was one of the first hybrids. And I mean, think about it. In 04 to 09, you're getting 50 miles a gallon? That was unheard of. Yeah.
At least. I mean,
but okay. I understand that, but in 06, I mean, the Volkswagen TDI diesel was getting 54, 60 miles to the gallon. So,
but was it really?
I had one, and it was getting 54 miles to the gallon.
I know,
100%.
Dieselgate.
I definitely, and also too, I think the inside, it was a very weird car to drive, almost like the Civics with the shifter. I don't know what model that was, but very weird car to drive with the shifter and everything.
Dash was very deep. Like it was interesting, right?
Yes.
You were in a small car, but it's almost like you were in a van. Like the shifter was up front, so it's like I'm in a van, but I'm not in a small car.
And it had that little digital display of when you were like on the gas and like recharging the batteries, and then it would,
Which I'm surprised the Honda Insight didn't take off, because they were actually, I think, before the Toyota Prius. Why that didn't take off more than the Prius? Maybe marketing, I don't know, but I definitely would say that it's definitely a memorable car.
I'll tell you what I'm surprised it didn't take off, since you mentioned the Insight, the Honda CRZ. Because that was, I mean, I know we're exactly, no one remembers it. It was supposed to be the new CRX, but it was called the CRZ. It was a hybrid, but it came with a manual transmission. You could actually manually, it was only manual hybrid that was offered at the time, and it didn't sell for shit. And they canned it after like 2 years. So yeah, I actually like the new Prius. The new Prius, I think the design styling is actually really attractive. This generation here just looked like a wedge, but the new one's nice.
And the last thing I'll say, this is the Prius that everybody knew was the eco car. Like you knew that it was like, you know, a hybrid.
Did they only come in silver? Because that's the only color I've ever seen.
No, right?
And white.
Silver or white.
Yeah.
All right. So here we go. Number 12, 05 to 2015 Bugatti Veyron. I get it.
Yeah, yes. I mean this was 100%. A car that went out and broke speed records and was totally wild. V12,
$25,000 for the tires,
quad turbos.
Yeah, $25,000 for special paint jobs and everything. I think it was the first like production car to go over 200. Am I thinking about that right?
It's probably right.
No, I don't think so, but I would say that this was the first hypercar. Wouldn't you say that this would now be the first hypercar? And not supercar, but and I mean, I think it came out before the Ferrari Enzo. Again, we just spit like shit here. We don't spit.
Yeah, facts are optional.
Yeah, if we're wrong, hey, we're wrong. But we're just
for sure. And even today, you can get the first gen, you know, of that car, and people still.
Enzo was 02.
It's a Bugatti. It's a Bugatti. Like so. I would definitely agree. First of a lot of things, and that was the car that, I mean, and even back in the day, we had Ferrari Testarossas, but I really think this was the first hypercar. So
I just love the fact that the window switches in it was the exact same as my Volkswagen Jetta. Same switches.
And I think what kind of captivated people's minds is, as you all were mentioning, the $25,000 tires, but like oil changes were like, you know, $10,000, and the whole thing had to be like blown apart to get down to do anything. So wow.
Yep. Right in the same vein, and I agree with it. Number 13, 05 to 06, only made 2 years. Ford GT. It's just a beautiful car. Yeah. I absolutely. I know Kevin loves this car. It's just gorgeous.
Yeah,
such a beautiful car.
Everything. Even, I mean, again, another car that they really took the design cues of the early one with the seats, with the dash, with everything, and made it modern, tasteful, and great car.
And it's $1 million car today. I mean, literally, it's $1 million car.
Yeah, and these things were trading in the low 100s for several years. And, Doug DeMuro obviously is the most famous guy I know with one, and he drives the tar out of it. It drives dailyable. Like Ford did a fantastic job of making this a normal quote unquote car in a supercar shell. It's, if anybody that picked one up back when they were cheap, what a hell of a car, what a hell of a deal. And you can find parts at the auto store for it. I mean, it's freaking unbelievable.
Yep.
It's the Pantera of the 90s or 2000s.
Yeah, absolutely.
100%. Yeah,
and it's unfortunate that they weren't more popular at the time. I'm not sure.
I think it's the price point, because who was going to pay that kind of money for a Ford?
Yeah.
When there was so many other options.
Yeah, you're right. It wasn't quite the time of just build a supercar and someone will buy it or people will buy it, And now, Porsche can come out with supercar, obviously, but Audi could come out with supercar, which they did with the R8. I don't know if that's on the list. That's probably several years later. But these brands couldn't just put out a supercar and expect it to be purchased like you can today.
Correct.
Yeah, because the next fastest car that they had would have been the Mustang SVT or the Mustang R or something like that. Mm-hmm. And then you went from that car to So you were saying they were $100,000. I remember when they came out, they were like $400,000.
Yeah,
because
but
they didn't make a
once
lot
they
of
hit the secondary market, they dropped dramatically. Nobody wanted them, which is again a shame.
Yeah. All right, next car, sticking in the Ford camp, 05 to 14 Ford Mustang. So I understand why. So if you think about it, this is the generation when they went back to the retro styling.
Yep.
And that's
the tail
why.
lights and everything. Yes.
Yeah, had the Mach 1000 subwoofer in the trunk and all that kind of stuff. I mean, so I understand why. Although the generation after this, I think, is a more attractive car. But I understand why they went with this generation is because of that retro styling.
Yeah, I've never been a Mustang guy. This one, it didn't do it for me then. It doesn't do it for me now. I don't ever remember them being that hot. They never made an impression on me, so I can't say too much. I never wanted one when they came out in 05, so I don't know.
So I'm not gonna say I'm not a Mustang guy. The modern Mustangs don't do a lot for me. I like the Fox when I was in high school. The Fox bodies, I liked those a lot. The 5.0s, but the modern ones don't do a ton for me. Although Stacy likes the modern ones. She likes the current Mustang convertibles. She likes those a lot.
Yeah. Just doesn't do it for me. Never have.
Nope. All right, number 15, 09 to 15 Ferrari 458 Italia. Yes, I get it. I'm not a Ferrari guy. I don't know a lot about Ferraris or Lambos other than I think they're beautiful, but I don't know the different models and submodels
I think the
and stuff.
styling cue, again, styling, because this went away from the slant and went more to a round because they always had that kind of boxy in the back. In the front, now this took nice curves in the back. Yeah, great car. I was on the fence of getting one of these and did not get one. So now they're going down in price. Again, I think it's a Ferrari, so they're just stupid money for maintenance and stuff. Cool car.
Well, you wouldn't be paying for maintenance. You'd be doing it. But, this came after, the 430, right?
Yeah.
The 430 looks very similar to a 360.
And a Modena and everything else that went like.
And the 360 for, at least in my opinion, for Ferrari, they entered the modern area where the era where the 360 can be a
temperamental.
Well, they can be a bit temperamental because they're Italian, but like that's a car that you can work on. You don't have to drop the engine to change the belts, right? Like you can do normal person stuff. It doesn't have to go to the garage for work. And I think the 430 continued that. It got even better. 458 is obviously even more so, where that car, in theory, no one, I think, does it, but you can drive them for many miles. So to me, that's why it would be on this list. But I do agree, Kevin, that the styling cues changed up and the wedge shape became a little more bubble shaped, right? Yeah. And allowed the engine cover to kind of drop. But it's a beautiful car. I like it. I would love to have it.
So much so, I think it's so memorable now that the new Corvette, everybody thinks that's a Ferrari, right?
Yeah. Correct. Yeah. No, I agree.
Agreed.
I mean, I like the older Ferraris. I find the new ones absolutely beautiful. I don't know that I'm the right buyer for it, but I would buy, a 328 or 308, like, Magnum PI kind of car. I could drive that. But
I think, in that vein, 328, I think is a good car. I would love a 348. I know people hate on those, but I love that car. But, 360, looked at those seriously around COVID time when prices fell through the floor. I was too big of a chicken to jump on it. I wish I had. But I think these modern cars or cars of this era are really beautiful, and they're easier to work on for the guy in the garage, in your home garage.
All right, next on the list is something that I would own, an 09 to 25 Nissan GTR.
I don't know why you'd own this shit.
I love it, dude. I 100%. Now, don't get me wrong. Here, I'm saddened by the fact, and I understand why, because Nissan, they're hurting. A lot of manufacturers are. So they haven't been able to come out with a new generation. The R35 is where they are. And so it's, from 09 to 25 is just beyond. I mean, it's way too long for one production cycle.
But who says that Nissan has to? Are they too big of a company? They could. Why does Nissan have to have all these? They could downsize and only make a super fast car. Like, yeah, I mean, you have Ferrari, you have Pagani, you have all these niche. Why can't Nissan do that?
I think that if Nissan just wanted to make a supercar, okay, maybe. But like they've tried the Nissan Zs, they're not selling. The 370 hasn't sold. I think the Nissan name and image has dropped so significantly since this car came out. You never see these cars. I've only seen one on track, even though they're relatively cheap now.
And they're such a good car, man. I mean,
I don't like it. I don't like it. They're heavy. I know the platform is powerful and you can do a lot to them.
Yeah, it's a Autobahn car or drag car. It's not a road car.
Yeah.
Yes.
No. No. It's a GT car all day long. But dude, if you want to just fucking go through all wheel, you want to just do freaking launches that'll snap your neck all day long. This car will just do it. It's just. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's a fucking boat. It's a huge car. It's massive. I mean, it's a good 8 inches wider and like 12 inches taller than the R34. It's a beast of a car. But it's such a good car. Such a good car.
Pass.
All right. We talked about this earlier. Something I've actually driven. 2012 to present Tesla Model S. And I agree. I mean, out of all the Tesla products, I think it's the prettiest of them all. The styling hasn't changed since 2012 when it came out, but I think it's a nice looking car. It's a good looking sedan.
And we all know why it's memorable. I mean, there's a million of them on there. It was the Frontier, or the Pioneer, I should say, of a mass production battery. That worked. Yes, quality but 100% American made. There's so much things that, I mean, hey, he's one of the richest, or is the richest guy in the world for reasons. Yes, I 100% agree with this.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely. Yeah, I agree as well. I definitely think it should be on the list. I don't want one, but I've ridden in one that's cool. But as I've opined on many times on here, electric cars are just
you're not the EV guy.
And let's face it, okay, it's memorable, right? Half of our conversations are anti-Tesla, so
100%.
That in itself should be the reason why I would say it's memorable, and it's 100%. Always on topic for something.
100%.
No doubt.
That being said, since we don't like Teslas, next one.
Number 18, something else new and dear to my heart. 2013 to 2021 Subaru BRZ / Scion FRS / Toyota 86.
So why would you say this? I know everybody knows you've owned one, but why would you say it? Because of the partnership, because of the styling cues, not a very popular car.
No. So it was a true, anyone's ever driven one of these, get it. Just like Casey with the Miata. It's a true driver's car. It's not a fast car. It's a fun car. It's 200 horsepower and 150 foot-pound of torque. But it had a flat 4 motor in it.
Which is cool and unique.
Yeah. Yep, exactly. Flat 4 motor in it. Low center of gravity, and in addition to because the flat 4, it was a true 50-50 weight distribution. It was a front mid-engine car, and they're a drift machine, dude. They came with freaking Prius tires on them, and you could just freaking spin around with them all day long. Just such a fun car.
Why do you think that they were not a super popular car?
Too small.
I think they were. You see them everywhere. I think they were super popular cars. They're still making them today. No, they're still making them today.
Is Toyota still making the motor?
No, Subaru makes a motor.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they did partner out with Toyota, though.
Yeah, so Toyota did part of the styling. All right. Subaru builds the entire car in their factory. And it's one of those cars that every Toyota badge, when you flip it over, it says Subaru on the back of it. It's literally a Subaru car built in a Subaru factory. Toyota did the direct injection system on it, the DS4 system. But it's a boxer motor, just like what we have in our cars, but a 4-cylinder. Matter of fact, I've seen a lot of people starting to use these engines and actually there was a guy I saw, they took a 914 and put one of these motors in it because it fits perfect. It's a good looking car.
I know the engine platform's good. They're in those Spiker Porsche replica cars and whatnot. I have never been a fan of them. I don't particularly find them attractive, and most of them that I see tend to be like ragged out, like just kind of beat up. Yeah. But I'm not tuned into them because I've never been interested in them. So maybe there's nice ones out there. I just don't see them. But I find it interesting that this one's on the list.
Yeah, well, I think it was the first time that Toyota, this was the first sports car that Toyota brought back to market. This was before the Supra. This was before, up until this point, Toyota was only doing,
Camrys.
Camrys and trucks. Subaru was only doing rally stuff or whatever, all-wheel drive stuff. They had nothing that was rear-wheel drive only.
Yeah.
And what made it nice was this was like the Miata. This was an affordable sports car that you get. I bought mine in 2012 as a 2013 model. And I think out the door, it was $24,500. I mean, it was an affordable sports car.
Yeah, cool.
So, all right, number 19, 2014 to 2019 Chevy Corvette C7.
I think we said most of what we had to say about this when we were talking about the C5, but hell of a platform still today, hell of a platform. It's a cheap entry into major power. You can mod the Ellis engine till, you run out of money. It's a great track car. It's cheap.
I think they should have just kept it, picked one Corvette and been done with it, because the only difference was like headlight change.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean,
well, and the Z06 in this generation had the LS7 in it, and that was just a beast of a motor.
Yeah,
beast. All right, number 20, 2015 to 2021 Mark 7 VW GTI.
Yeah, see, this is getting out of my wheelhouse of when that car was, what this car even looks like.
So I mean, it's the modern GTI you think of. I think I
had one great
car. Yeah.
But why is it on this list? Like, what was so remarkable about it?
The only thing I can think of is, but they didn't market. So this would have been the generation when they brought back the Volkswagen, the R. This is the generation when they brought back the R, but they didn't necessarily put that on the list. They just put the GTI. So I'm not sure what made the Mark 7 any different than the Mark 6 I love the Mark 4 R32. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe somebody can educate us about this, but I don't know that well enough. So fuck it. Skip to the next one.
Yep. 2015, 2023 Dodge Charger Hellcat. Hellcat for everybody.
We know why this one's on.
We know why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hellcat, obviously a shitload of power. Every redneck that could find 2 quarters to scrape together would get one. They're fast as hell. They're loud and they're obnoxious.
I remember this car also came with, a set of slicks.
Yeah, that's right.
Or no, that was the Demon, right?
That was the Demon. But I mean, you got to give Chrysler credit where credit's due. I mean, you get a gimmick that works, fucking put it in everything, dude. You got a Wrangler, we'll put a Hellcat in it. You got a Charger, we'll put a Hellcat in it. You got a Challenger, Hellcat. You got a Durango, we'll Hellcat that too. I mean, we'll just put a Hellcat in everything.
Yeah,
if it works, it works.
Engine platform wise, great performance out of it, but these cars are, to me, not special at all. But I can see why it's on here, because the whole marketing behind it and the people who ended up buying them, especially now, is for sure memorable.
Well, here's the good thing for the Mustang guys. So another, say, 5-6 years down the road, when the Hellcat is $15,000, all right, they might surpass the Mustang in wiping out the crowd at Cars and Coffee.
For sure.
Because the people driving them are not going to understand how to deal with that engine.
For sure.
All right.
I mean, when did the 300 come out? That's
Chrysler 300?
Same window.
I think that would be a more memorable car than the Hellcat. Because the Chrysler and the people were doing maybe it was a little time before it, and then they did the Magnum. I think that might have been in the 90s, though. Late 90s.
Was, the 300, they never did a Hellcat. They did the SRT 8, but they never actually did a Hellcat version.
We're just talking about memorable cars.
True. 2005.
Motors.
2005.
Yeah, I mean, people were doing the Rolls Royce front grille, and I mean,
it's
agree.
A poor man's Bugatti.
Yeah, when that 300 came out, I'll admit I was interested in them. I had a Cadillac CTS at the time, and was like, hey, that can be a cruising car right there, because the styling cues were on point, I think, especially for the time. It was a good looking car. I could never be seen driving a Chrysler, and nor did I have
then they came out with a station wagon one that was like, oh, that's cool too, because it's so fast. I mean, all right.
Exactly.
Next car.
All right, something Kevin can wrap his head around. 17 to 21 FK8 Honda Civic Type R. So I guess that's the latest generation.
What year?
17 to 21. 17 to 21. It's Honda Civic Type R.
So they brought the Type R that never was here. Right. Yes, I could definitely. I don't know why that would just stop at 21, because they're still making the car. But
well, maybe the current one's maybe it's a .2 or new generation. I don't know.
Definitely, we never got the car here. I know I've been trying to convince my daughter to get one. She drives a Civic now, but she does not want to have a car payment. That car was super fast on the Nürburgring. The Euro model was. I think it was like a second slower than the GT3. So I think we talked about this. Yes, I mean, super, super impressive for a 4-cylinder turbo car.
It had red front seats.
Yes. I find this car interesting. Again, I'm not a Honda guy, but the styling on this I always found to be exaggerated and over the top, especially the rear end. It's got a lot of
wings and flares and all kinds of
And
all
fake,
the Japanese goodness.
Yeah, fake venting and stuff. And regardless of how good the car is, I can never get over the styling on it. I just found it a little weird.
It's like I want to go to Japan someday. It's like they took it and parked it in the parking lot of their store up garage, and they just went inside and bought all the bits and bobs and just stapled it to it. All right, so next one on the list is, of course, 2020 to present C8 Corvette.
I think there's way too many Corvettes on this list.
3 Corvettes, dude. It's I mean.
But the C8 obviously was a huge transformation for Chevy. It's going to end up being a great platform for people to buy once it is cheap and comes down in cost. People think it's a Ferrari. The taillights are still awful. I find the interior, the blade that goes down in between, I think that's awful. Never driven one, never sat inside one. I'm sure it does well. The reviews are always good for it. Got a lot of power, but they should have put...
It does hug you almost like a Subaru because your shifter's like right here. Yeah. I will tell you, I think whoever's writing this article, they love Corvettes because it should have just been C6 because of the design cues and again a C8 because of the C7 should have not been on this list in my opinion. Also too, is this the same one that has the LT motor in it now?
They just group it all together.
Oh
yeah. Or is the Stingray that's the highest one, right?
No, Stingray's the base
until
one.
X or whatever.
It's the base one.
Also, too, you got the window. It's a mid-engine car, right? It's an engine compared to, not a mid-engine. So it should have been, C6 and C8. Yep. And on that note, I think we should move on because it's just a Corvette.
Well, there's only 2 more cars on here, and this one I don't agree with, but, what do I know? 2022 to present Cadillac CT5V Blackwing.
I hear a lot of chatter about this from the talking heads.
It's too new to be memorable in my opinion. I would rather see...
I think they're combining luxury, and you can still get it in a 6-speed. Can you not, or a 7-speed?
Yeah, but
or whatever.
I would rather see. Like we talked about it before, the Cadillac CTSV wagon with a manual. That's more memorable to me than this. To me,
what I'm surprised too is I don't see a lot of cars like the Mercedes with the gull-wing doors, or
the SL,
or like. I mean, you saw that car, or even the Maserati, the Gran Turismo, or like cars that were like, wow, like that's a memorable car. To put a Prius on there, or to put, I'm sorry, Matt, like the Subaru.
No, I get it. No, absolutely, yeah.
Like, I just don't know why those were memorable cars. Maybe because we are more of like performance driven, opposed to.
But not even. I mean, I agree with you. But what I'm saying is, like, some of these things, like, okay, you're right. The Scion FRS. I would have rather seen the Plymouth Prowler there. We say Plymouth. Yeah. Everyone remembers what a Plymouth Prowler is. That thing was friggin' a spaceship. The thing was out of this world.
Yeah, I agree.
And so why is that not on the list? I mean, Chip Foose, his design center project is what created the Prowler. I mean, that should be on this list. But what do we know?
And the last one, drum roll.
Last one is the answer to everyone's question. Best sports car in the world, Mazda Miata, all generations.
I love that they put all generations, which they could have fucking done for Corvette.
I know.
But anyhow, the Miata is the answer most of the time when you want a fun, cheap car. It transformed, I think, fun, cheap car in America. After the Beetle, what other fun, cheap car was there? I don't know until 1989 when the Miata came out.
Yep.
And they're still priced reasonable.
Yeah. Fun car, easy to work on, cheap to maintain, reliable as hell. I mean,
I was talking to James. I think I was talking to James about this. I'm looking for a 914. The reality is to get a good one that you're not going to have to like do a shit ton to. You're spending 28 to 30 grand. All right.
You can buy almost a new Miata.
Well, and that's what I'm saying. So I'm like, okay, so that's a vibe you're getting, but you're getting a 50-year-old car with 90 horsepower, and for the same money, I can buy a damn near brand new Miata.
Yeah.
But
I say buy the Miata personally, and we're all Porsche people. But for what you want. Reliability.
Yeah.
You don't tinker on cars. Just buy a Miata and have fun with it. And
your wife would probably like it more too.
Hell, you could buy an A and really have that car to fuck around with And I mean, I'm seeing some of those. Again,
Well, dude,
I try to talk to my daughter about one of these too. She's like, no, it's a Miata.
Look at Chad's. Chad kept up with everybody in the freaking mountains. Wasn't it Chad? Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. He's got an NC or ND, but
right.
Yep. So I definitely would look at that opposed to buying a 914.
So best show ever.
Best show ever. We got anything else before we wrap it up?
That's it.
All right. Well, guys, thanks for listening. Hit us up on our website, whiskeywatcheswheels.com. Go over to YouTube, like, subscribe, and leave us a comment. And if you guys need anything, always hit us up on Instagram, and we will catch you guys next week. Peace out.
Peace.